Hey, this is Mr. Ward, and this is the PreAlgebra Do Now 32.2 video key. And we have a model rocket. It's been shot up to a point at 20 meters above the ground, hitting a smokestack and dropping straight down to a point 11 meters from the launch site. So we can actually draw ourselves a little right triangle. So this is going to be 20 meters. And this is 11 meters, okay, and that is a kitten in the background if you hear it. And so what we need is this length and this length. Well, this is the hypotenuse, so we can work this out. This is going to be A and B if you like, or A and B, it doesn't really matter, but we'll say 11 squared plus 20 squared will equal c squared, and I'll do that like that. So we'll call that c, okay? So that's going to be 121. That'll be 400. And so our answer for c squared is going to be 521. Okay, so that'll be 521. And then we need to get the square root of 521, okay? So I'm going to write this in here. So I've got 11 squared plus 20 squared equals c squared. And that means we've got 121 plus 400 equals 521, which will equal c squared. And now we need to figure out what is the square root of 521. Well, 521 might be prime. I'm not sure. I'm looking at it. It doesn't have any factors of 3 in it. It's no factors of 4, 5, or 6. 7 seems unlikely. 21 has a factor of 7, but not 5. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the factors 521. Okay. So the factors of 521 are 1 and 521. It is indeed prime. I will confirm that really quickly. Find the Factors is a great website for checking this sort of thing out. And so 521 is a prime number, so it has no other factors. So c squared may equal 521. C will equal the square root of 521. Now, I'll go ahead and work out the estimate because that's a pretty, and then we have to also add that to 20 meters. We are getting a measurement, so it might be useful to use an estimated answer, okay? So I'm going to start with the exact answer. So the distance traveled exact is going to be 20 plus the square root of 521 meters, okay? The square root of 521 is going to be about 22.83. We'll call that just 22.8 for our purposes, okay? Distance traveled estimate is going to be 20 plus, what was that again? 22.8-ish plus 22.8. Okay, and so that becomes 42.8 meters approximately. Okay, now let's go on to the next one. The next one, we got a submarine on an evasive course. It's trying to outrun a destroyer. It travels 1 kilometer north and 1 kilometer west and 1 kilometer north and 1 kilometer west. It keeps basically zigzagging. So it goes 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And it travels a total of 41 kilometers. So it's going to keep going. It's going to end up going like that. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So that's an odd number that we'll get to. So it's going to have 1 kilometer here and 1 kilometer here, and it's going to have an odd number of kilometers between there, so we can figure out how many that's going to be. Okay, so let's see here. So we split 41 in half. It's going to be 20 plus 21. So it's going to be 21 north and, and 20 west. So we're going to ultimately, overall, have a triangle that is 21 kilometers north and 20 kilometers west. Okay, and so since it's north and west, that makes a right triangle. So overall, we've gone 21 north and 20 west, so this is going to be our hypotenuse. So we can work that out. So that's going to be 20 squared plus 21 squared, and that's going to equal c squared, which is our hypotenuse. 20 squared will be 400. 21 squared will be, okay, that's 1 times 21 will be a 21, and then 20 times 21 will be a 420, so it'll be 441. Okay, so that's going to equal 841, and then that's c squared, so c squared equals 841. Oops, that's not 841, that's 841. So c equals the square root of 841. Now, 841 is definitely not a multiple of 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. It might be 7, so we can check that out. There's a way to test 7. You double the last digit and subtract it from what's left. But what's left, 84, is already a multiple of 7, so we'd be getting away from a multiple of 7. It's not 8. It's not 9 because it's not 3. So I'm going to go ahead and check, find the factors on this one. 841. Okay, let's do a search of find the factors. Where is my search bar for find the factors? All right, I think I just have to do this. 841. And that will get us to 841. Okay. Well, there's a lot of really interesting things about 841, but let's see. Let's find the basic thing. This is very interesting. It is a square. It's a perfect square. 841 is 29 times 29. So we have our answer. So C equals 29 kilometers. And in fact, if I remember correctly, this is actually one of the Pythagorean triple. And so indeed, this is a Pythagorean triple. Let's actually look up the Pythagorean triple. 20, 21, 29 is indeed a Pythagorean triple. That is one of the slightly more obscure, past the 7, 24, 25 on the list. But it is one, and there it shows up. All right, now we've got the hexagon area formula for you, and the octagon area formula for you. And we have a regular hexagon here attached to a regular octagon, and they share the same side length. So this side length is 2 ducts, okay? Which means that all of the side lengths are 2 ducts for both of them, so we can use 2 ducts as the side length for both. And both of the formulas are in terms of side. So we got root 3 times side squared, and then we've got 2 times all of this times side squared. So side squared is 2 squared, so it's going to be 4 in both cases. So we need to add both of these together. So let's start with the octagon, since it's visible right there. 2 times 1 plus square root of 2 times side squared. So we can have 2 times 1 plus square root of 2 times side squared. That'll be the octagon. Plus We'll go back up there and remind ourselves, I believe it's 3 root 3 over 2. Yes, it is. Plus 3 square root of 3 over 2. And then that side squared. Okay, now we know what the side squared is. Side squared in both cases is going to end up being 4. So that's 2 squared, that's 2 squared. And we'll copy pasta that one more row. And so 2 squared is 4, and 2 squared is 4. And we can start simplifying things as much as we can. Okay. So just to be clear, this 2 is a denominator, and this 4 is a numerator. So I'm going to actually move it up here. So that's 4 times. Okay, maybe I should move this times 2 root 2 up in the top as well, just so we're clear. Okay. So that's 2 square root of 2 times all that. And I'll put it here as side. I'll put side squared up here because it actually doesn't matter which way the order of multiplication is, but it could be confusing if it's down there. Okay, so now I've got all of this. So this, copy it one more time. And over here, the 2 and the 4 become an 8. So I'll just make that an 8. This 4 actually becomes a 2, and with this becomes a 1. So we don't need that denominator anymore. So this here will become a 6. So that's 6 square root of 3. Over here, I need to distribute the 8. So 8 times 1 will be 8. And 8 times the square root of 2 will be 8 times the square root of 2. And I drop my parentheses here. And I've got 8 plus 8 square root of 2 plus 6 square root of 3. And that actually is going to be the area of this combination of a hexagon and an octagon. Of course, it's going to be ducks squared, or square ducks. Okay. Now, if you needed to get a more like a measurement that you would like find out how much paint you needed or wallpaper you needed or something like that to cover up the floor that was shaped like this or something like that, then you could go ahead and work out what all of this is. And I'll go ahead and do that as an estimate. Of course, I've given you the exact answer. The estimated answer comes out to 29.7 square ducks. So that's this exact area. And then, oops, go back there, 29.7 square ducks estimated area. Okay. All right, I hope that was helpful.